Good evening, everyone. So I'm trying to wait for more people to join in. We'll start in about 2 minutes. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to one of Tradu's many webinars. I don't know. Please confirm that you can hear me.
Can hear you.
Okay, thank you very, very, very much. So without wasting more time, I believe some people will join us as we proceed. Oh, okay. So today we have with us um So first and foremost, sorry, we're having a session on scaling agribusiness in Africa, basically how to combine tech, finance, and trade. At Trady, we're committed to driving conversations that shape the future of African industries, just like agriculture for today. Basically, I'm honored and very delighted to introduce our guest speaker, Mr. Nathaniel Ejeba. He's a passionate leader in African agribusiness, and his work has bridged technology, finance, and trade to create real impact. He holds a degree in agricultural economics and extension services from the University of Benin. His career has seen him empower farmers and young agripreneurs across Nigeria, and as a project supervisor with BAT, that's British American Tobacco Nigeria Foundation, in partnership with Soilless Farmland. He has trained over 400 rural farmers in climate smart practices, which has boosted use by an impressive 80%. And he has also co-trained more than 4,000 youths annually in greenhouse farming and agribusiness strategy. He has helped to deploy over 300 greenhouses every year. So currently, he's a business coach at Soilless Farm Lab, where he mentors more than 70 agribusinesses that has generated over 100 million in just the first half of this year. He also plays a key role in initiatives that gives agribusiness access to finance and international standards, opening doors to new markets and exports opportunities. Please join me as I welcome Nathaniel. Ejaba.
Okay, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I okay. I just want to confirm if I'm audible enough, if you can hear me.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we
All
can
right.
hear
Thank
you.
you. All right. Thank you so much. So first of all, it's a pleasure to be speaking this evening. I want to say a very big thank you to the organizers of this event, Tradu. Um, it's an honor speaking for you this evening. I just hope that by the end of this session, we would all have value for joining. Okay. Please just all right. So we'll be looking at scaling agribusiness in Africa, how to combine technology, finance, and trade. I have prepared a slide, but I don't know. I will try to share my screen if you'll be able to see what I'm saying. It's just a minute. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yeah, we can see it.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay, so we'll start right away. Um, so first of all, we'll just be looking at agribusiness in Africa generally. And up until now, the agri sector has been looked as one of those sectors that has been critical to our national development. But at a certain point in time, a lot of focus went into the oil and gas industry. So we had a lot, we had the cocoa house in Ibadan, so many wonderful, the granite pyramids in the north. We had so many wonderful initiatives that was coming up then. But by the advent of oil, we had a shift from agriculture to the oil and gas industry. And agriculture has been one of the sectors that has contributed greatly to our GDP. And for us to neglect such an industry, it has actually dampened our growth in that industry. So, first of all, we just want to start with what is agriculture and just what is agribusiness. So many of times we've defined agriculture as the rearing of livestock, the growing of crops for consumption or for sale. So that has been our definition of it. Now, many a times we've discovered that you could be doing agriculture as a hobby. You're just doing it because you like doing it, right? But we discovered that over time, many industries have what left agriculture behind. We have left agriculture behind in the sense that up until now, the banking industry, I can remember a while ago, if you wanted to make maybe a transfer, you have to go to the bank, write a check, okay, transfer it to this certain account, but we don't do that anymore. But you still find out that the methods that we have been using in agric are still the methods that many farmers are using today. So should be a distinct difference between agriculture and agribusiness. Now, in agribusiness, you are looking at, I am farming for the purpose of business, or I'm farming for the purpose of making profits, right? Now, if you have that in mind, it will not, that would now inform many of your decisions, because I see a lot of farmers that, oh, I love growing this crop, but you are not making profit from it. I love growing this crop, I just love growing it, but you're not making profit on it. In agribusiness, you are looking at what can I grow that will actually earn me money. Okay, what can I grow that will actually earn me money? So welcome once again. I am Nathaniel Ejeba, and I'm popularly known as the super coach. As the host has rightly introduced, I'm currently a business coach for Soilless Farm Lab, where I get to mentor over 70 agribusinesses. I don't know if you can still hear me. Please, so I'm not like talking to myself alone. I would want maybe a bit of person
Yes,
to
we can
respond.
hear you.
Okay.
We can hear you.
All right. Thank you. Now, for this session, we'll be looking at different things. Number one, understand the growth potential of African agribusiness. Number two, we'll be learning how technology can unlock efficiency and scale. We'll be looking at discovering financing models suited for agribusiness growth. We'll also be looking at how trade opportunities multiply impact. And lastly, we'll be looking at how to gain actionable strategies to integrate the three pillars. So we'll just be diving right into it. Now, are there opportunities in the African agribusiness space? Yes. Just a quick statistics for us. Africa's agri-food market projected to reach $1 trillion by 2030. $1 trillion by 2030. Now, in agribusiness, we are looking at everything from the production, the harvesting, the processing, the transport, the logistics. In fact, basically everything, how your products go from the farm and how it reaches the final consumer. All of that is about agribusiness. Now, over 60% of the world's uncultivated arable land is in Africa. What does that say to you? It simply means that a lot of these developed countries, the arable land that they have has already been cultivated, right? That's why you start seeing, they start having technologies such as vertical farming and all of that. There is really no much space. So if we are going to, and coming to our local communities, you will see that a lot of investment is being done by the Chinese guys, the Lebanese. They are buying up, in fact, in some areas, they're buying up 100 hectares, 200 hectares, massive projects. Why? Because about 60% of the world's uncultivated arable land is in Africa. And number three, we have rising urban population and middle class demand for processed food. So agribusiness has now moved to a point whereby if you are just into the farming alone, you may not be able to extract the maximum value from what you are currently doing. So these are some of the opportunities that lie in the African agribusiness space. And I would just want to chip in a point here. We have what we call the Japa wave. I think it has been going down for a while, but it's still ongoing very much. Now, have you asked yourself, when Nigerians move over to other countries, no matter what, they grew up here, so they would also want to get Nigerian food. Now, if you are not joining that movement, you should be looking at how to tap from that trend, that trend of people moving to other countries, looking for greener pastures, looking for a better life, right? Now, the Mama Ngozi, the Mama Nkechi, Mama BC, they would also get there, and the first thing they are looking for is an Amala spot, right? You see people get there in their mind. You think they will start looking for pizza. No, it's amala, it's ewedu they want to eat. Why? Because we have a natural connection with our food. Food is part of our culture. Food is part of our identity. So if we have so many persons that are following this train of relocation, of course, that is already a growing market. So these are some of the opportunities that exist in the agribusiness space in Africa. Now, we also look at a rising demand for some of our products. Have you ever asked yourself, how is it that a lot of countries, you can see, you can have an Italian restaurant, they serve Italian food. You can have a restaurant that does French cuisines. Then you start seeing, for example, in Nigeria, pizza is not our food, burgers are not our food. A lot of these foods that are not native to us, they are making their way into our culture currently, right? And it was an intentional push by these countries to introduce us to their culture. Now, with the rising trends now, we have to find ways to what? Introduce our own foods to them. Okay, so these are all opportunities that are opening up in African agribusiness space. Now, I just want to say something here. Now, we'll look at some challenges. So, I want to say that for agribusiness, before you think of scaling, there are some things that you need to get right. And I'm speaking to the audience and hoping that many of or some of us are already into the agribusiness space. Or if you're not, I will still try to pass the message across in such a way that you would clearly understand. Now, before you think of scaling anything, you have to get your model right first. You have to get your model right first. There is something that we teach here on the farm. It's called a business model canvas. The business model canvas is a tool that we use to teach incoming agripreneurs or generally business owners, whereby you lay out the entire structure of your business, where it includes things like your key partners, your key activities, your value proposition and all of that. It helps you put the whole map of your business on a sheet of paper to see, does this thing actually work? Because a lot of times ideas are usually best. Oh, I have a wonderful idea. By the time you put it on paper, you see that it's not really workable. So the business model canvas helps you to put a structure to that idea. Now, when you are running your agribusiness and you want to scale, you have to ensure that you are not scaling a faulty model. Now, many in times past, we've had different, for example, crowdfunding opportunities. Oh, invest so amounts in my agribusiness and you will get so number of return on investments. I'm sure many of us have seen investment programs like that. Now, I want to say something there. Not all of them were scammers. Not all of those guys that put out things like that, not all of them were scammers. Some of them tried scaling a model, an agribusiness model that was not sustainable. Okay, so you tried it on half a plot of land, and wow, I did cucumbers on half a plot of land. Let's make it 10 acres. Right? That's what you would term as scale. But they failed to realize that there are certain things that you need to put in place before scaling. So generally, agribusiness in Africa, we need to start looking at, there are some things that we need to put in place before we need to start scaling. So you must get your structure right. You must have make sure that your structure is on point. Because if you scale something that is not sustainable, you did half a plot today, you want to next thing, oh, this is wonderful, let me scale to 10 acres and supply more markets. I call them online farmers. You see their projections. If you can get 2 kg of tomatoes from one stand, imagine doing 50,000 stands. 1 kg of tomato sells for 800 naira. You are sure to get 20 to 30 tons per hectare of tomatoes. They start doing their multiplication, and investors' eyes are swelling. Wow, this is a wonderful opportunity. But you fail to realize that there are many things to put in place. If you do not have the right staff, all your scaling operations, you are going to invest um, millions of naira, thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, and you just find out that you don't have the right staff to run that project. So before scaling, you need to look at your structure, your business structure, your staffs, the responsibilities, who and who is responsible for what. And I've noticed a trend in the agribusiness space. A lot of persons are willing to invest a lot of money, but they are not actually willing to pay the people that will run such business. So these are some of the considerations that you have to put in place before you start thinking of scaling. So I've also talked on your business model canvas, making sure that your business model is strong. What are the ways that you are making money? A lot of persons at the end of the day, oh, you are doing cassava, you are doing plantain. That particular agribusiness venture, is it making you profit? So you need to look at all of these things before we start talking about scaling. You need to ensure that that particular business is actually profitable, because as I said earlier, we are in agriculture for profits, right? We are in agriculture for profits. Don't let anybody gaslight you or want to blackmail you in quotes for doing agriculture for profit. No. Do you know why? It's because if at the end of the day you are not making profit, you would soon close down. Those people that you are saying, oh, let me feed the nation, feed the nation. If you are not running profitably, how would you continue that venture? So you are in agribusiness for profit. Now, since you are in agribusiness for profit, if it's actually profitable, you can then think of scaling, right? Now, in another point you have to ensure before you consider scaling is that, oh, I'm doing half an acre of cucumbers. I have my market. I'm selling to Olomore market. I'm selling to my 12. I have these persons that are buying my products, right? Now, before you think of scaling, you have to look at the market share. You have to look at, oh, is this a product that I just need to what? Expand, right? Let me give us an example now. Which product can I use? Let's say you are selling maybe like ogbono. You know, ogbono comes from a tree, right? Oh, this thing is actually selling so well. Oh, let me plant 100 hectares of ogbono without actually considering the persons that will buy into this product. So you have to look at the total accessible market, right? If I should scale up, do I have a market that can offtake this product? So those are some of the things that you need to consider. If you are scaling up, simply means that you are scaling up to different companies can mean different things. Scaling up to a particular company, agribusiness company, can mean reaching more customers, having markets in the UK, having access to markets in Canada, the US, and all of that. That can be scaling up for a particular agribusiness. So it's scaling. Scaling means different things to different companies. So now, what are the challenges to scaling up? We have number one, fragmented value chain. What is a value chain? A value chain in agribusiness is simply different points along the line of a particular crop or a particular product that moves from the farmer right to the customer, right? So what does fragmented value chain means? I will give an example. Most of the time you will have a situation whereby you have a farmer that is farming cassava, and at the end of the day he is not making enough money. Why? Because he's just focused on what? Farming. Let me share a quick personal story. I did about 10 acres of cassava in year 2020, and at the end of the day I was selling my cassava tubers between 10,000 naira to 12,500 naira for a ton. A ton is one a ton is 1,000 kg. So imagine selling a ton of cassava for 10,000 naira after waiting 10 to 12 months for it to get ready. Do you get? Now, but you will discover that if I should process it, for example, so there's something called cassava chips. A lot of companies use it to make ethanol. If you process it to cassava chip, I'm using figures as of then, you would get an average of 90,000 naira per ton. Now, the company that is going to use that cassava chip, converting it to ethanol, they are going to get a lot more value for it. I think it, as of then, I think it was about 500,000 naira per one ton of the ethanol as of then. So fragmented value chains is saying that across the value chain of cassava, if you should stop at just production of the tubers, you are probably not making enough money. So that value chain of cassava, you can move from cassava tubers to gari to cassava flour, right? So in scaling, if you are just the farmer, you want to scale your tuber production, you are just scaling from maybe 1 acre to 10 acres to 100 acres. You are just limited to one particular point in the value chain. So the fragmented value chain is actually a problem for agribusinesses in Africa. Okay, if you were able to have control over the value chain, I can say I'm scaling up my production from 10 hectares of cassava to 1,000 hectares. Why? Because I can process it into cassava flour, of which will not go bad. So I have control over the prices and everything. But if I am not able to control that value chain, I will not be able to scale up as much as I would have loved to. So so one of the issues that we're having with scaling is fragmented value chains. Now, we also have limited access to finance. Okay, limited access to finance. You've gotten a particular model of agribusiness. It could be selling of sesame. I don't know if you know sesame. So sesame is that seed. If you eat burger, you will see that sesame is that seed, that is that tiny white seed that is sprinkled on top. So it's one of the products in agribusiness or in agriculture that has a lot of value. It has a lot of export value. Okay. Now, if I have perfected the act of, oh, I know the science, I know everything, I know when to plant sesame seeds, I have all the technical knowledge, but I do not have the funds, what happens? My technical knowledge is limited to my ability to gather funds and actually execute. So I have a lot of technical knowledge, but I do not have the required finance to scale. Okay, so limited access to finance is a problem for agribusinesses in Africa. You have the technical knowledge, you have access to your market, you have access to off-takers and all of that, but you do not have the access to finance. It's actually a big problem. Now, limited mechanization and productivity. As I said earlier, that's where we'll start seeing a farmer, for example, in Germany, on a whole farm, how many persons do they have? You have 10 persons working on a farm, and they are working on 1,200 hectares. Why? How is that possible? It's through mechanization. One of the issues we are currently having in African agribusiness sector is limited mechanization and productivity. At the end of the day, you will see, for example, farmers having production 3 tons in 10 acres of land. Productivity is actually very low. The more you mechanize, the more productivity you have. A tractor should be able to plow about 10 to 12 acres per day. Imagine that same area of land, and it's people that are actually doing the tilling. It will take you a very long time. Okay, so if you want to scale, this business model is very effective, this business model is actually working, but you do not have the required mechanization to scale. Imagine you want to clear maybe 1,000 hectares and you are going to do that by hand or by cutlass or by people that would just be using hand to clear. That cannot work. So limited mechanization is one of the um, issues that we're currently facing. Now we have poor market access and trade barriers. Poor market access. There's something I would want to say at the end, but I have to bring it in a bit. Now, many a times in developed countries, we have what we call certification bodies. Okay, let me even bring it to Nigeria. We have a certification body like maybe NAFDAC. You are doing food products. NAFDAC has to certify that your product is okay. They are checking for your production processes, your management practices, and all. Now, for you to scale, now we are thinking of scaling in Africa, right? So probably you want to sell to other African countries and even more developed or like the Europe market, the US, and all of that, right? Now, many of these countries, they have certain standards, okay? They will not just take your word for it. Oh, my product is okay. No, you have to have certain standards. And part of it, we have the HACCP, hazard analysis and critical control points. We have the ISOs. We have different ISOs. We have ISO 22000. We have the halal certification, right? Before you are able to move your product into these countries, you have to conform to certain standards. Okay. Now, if, for example, you want to move your product to the United Arab Emirates, you would definitely need to be halal certified. Okay. If you do not have such certifications, you can't access markets. You've been able to scale, you've done your business model right, you have gotten everything right, but you do not have access to these markets. You are not able to scale. Okay. So we have trade barriers. Simple as a country not wanting to do business with a certain country, probably because of their processes and all. I was talking to a colleague recently, and he was telling me that some persons would take yam from Nigeria, take it to Ghana, package it, and send it abroad as yams from Ghana. Now, why is that? Many persons do not want to have trade with Nigeria because there are certain mindsets that our foods are not so okay. Do you get? So poor market access and trade barriers. We also have climate variability. You signed a memorandum of understanding, you signed an MOU with a particular organization. Oh, you can produce this amount of product in, maybe we need this every week or every month or quarterly. Or you've signed the contract, you are ready to go. All of a sudden, it's either those of us, maybe we are into tomatoes production, for example. When the temperatures are so high, you will find out that you are having abortion of flowers and all of that. But those are just peculiar farming challenges, right? So climate variability, something that you had planned earlier, all of a sudden, it's either too hot, the rains are too much, it's too dry, something just happens and you are not able to meet up. So these are some of the challenges that are facing agribusiness scaling in Africa. Okay. Let me move over. Now, we'll be looking at the first pillar. We'll be looking at the first pillar, technology as a scaling tool. Now, many a times we always look at technology. Oh, it must be robots. It must be robots doing the farming. Not really. There are certain technologies that enable us to as a scaling tool. Let me just give a very basic example, right? If you are someone that I major into horticulture, that is your fruits and vegetables, that's what I major in. And if you want one peculiar thing about fruits and vegetables is the fact that they need constant irrigation, okay? Now, imagine you have 100 stand of tomatoes, it may be easy for you to, oh, let me hand water each particular one. And for vegetables like tomatoes, they will need irrigation for about 2 to 3 times a day, or even 4 times, depending on how hot or how cold the temperature is for that day. Now, you are just irrigating with hand. Oh, it's not much. But if you found out that that tomato production is profitable and you want to scale to probably 10,000 stands, you actually can't irrigate using a bucket. You will give up. I can assure you, you will give up. So by the time you are irrigating morning, afternoon, evening, you will abandon it. Anything that should happen. I've seen a lot of farmers like that. Oh, and I want to depend on rain. Okay, sir, continue. But you would definitely need to do what irrigation. And what is a technology that just fixes it? It is not that it's not what we will call high tech, but simply as installing a drip irrigation setup would help you scale. Okay, so you can, with the, for example, if you have an irrigation system, you can irrigate 10,000 stands, 100,000 stands of tomatoes at the push of a button. So you can either maybe use a gravity fed system, just put on your tank, and you are irrigating. Such a simple technology as irrigation has helped you scale from 100 stands to 10,000 stands. So you have, before you are adopting any technology, you have to look at where you are actually. Okay, so before you actually bring a technology, you have to look at my boss, from Samson Ogboli. We was having a discussion some about 2 weeks ago, and the discussion was around, oh, you want robots to be doing the farming. If the robot gets spoiled, who are the technicians that are available to fix it? You may not get that. Okay, so even in technology, you have to look at the technology that is helping us where we are. Okay, so technology technology is simply making anything better that reduces human effort. Okay, now technology as a scaling tool, we have number one, digital marketplace. um there's a saying, if you want to know where the ball will land, watch where the players are going, right? Now, many persons are online. Okay, let me use this example. There is a guy called Tiki Fish, and I interact with some fish farmers. Oh, and everybody says, "Oh, I know that guy." There's this popular food critic, Okpeyemi, and it was just like, "Oh, I love this guy's content." A lot of persons are online, okay, and putting yourself online is a way of scaling. You could be so let me just give an example. You could be someone that is just buying smoked fish as an aggregator, buying a lot from fish farmers, smoking and selling. But at the end of the day, a lot of persons are actually noticing you online. See, currently now, if you are not online, I would not say you are a serious agribusiness person. People have to be able to see you. There was a statistics I read that the average person spends, if you were to calculate the amount of swipes, does about 3 kilometers of scrolling on Instagram. So in olden times, if you wanted to make yourself visible, you would have to go maybe to radio stations, television stations, billboards, conferences, programs, and all of that. But in this day and time, we have digital platforms that you can put yourself out there. I'll give an example with the program that we are currently running, right? We are currently running Enterprise for Youth in Agriculture, whereby we get to train 1,000 youths every 3 months. And in talking with these youths that come to for training, oh, how did you hear of the program? Oh, I actually saw it online. You will never hear anybody that said maybe I heard it through radio. What does that show you? It shows you that a lot of persons are online. So the digital market space is a very great technology for us for scaling. I saw your product. Oh, you have access to Sesame. How many tons can you pull together? Oh, I can pull 100 tons of sesame. Oh, I think I would want to work with you. People are able to trust you. People are able to follow your story. People are able to see what you do and are interested. So digital marketplace is a very great tool for scaling in agribusiness. If your business is not online, people would not know that you are doing set this and or offering this goods and service. Digital marketplace as a technology is a very potent tool for the African agribusiness. Now, we'll also look at precision farming. Now, for precision farming, you are simply saying that how can I ensure that I am giving my plants, for example, exactly what they need? Now, traditionally, what we just have is okay, just plants. Say is NPK or is fertilizer, we will just give it like that. But in precision farming, if you want to scale, you would have to calculate exactly what you need, right? So on the farm here, we have for example records of every plant and their requirements per week. That can help us to plan. Okay, if you would want to scale as an agribusiness, you want to ensure that you know exactly the inputs that you are actually going to be using, right? You have to know that. If not, you are going to be wasting a lot of resources. You have to know that you are going to be wasting a lot of resources if you want. And now, if you let me use this example. If you have a ship and you have different holes in the ship, right? You have to find a way to plug that up. So for example, let me use tomatoes. I told you I major in horticulture, the vegetables section. If you want to know that a, a tomato stand requires so and so amount of nitrogen per week or throughout its life cycle, you can actually budget for that. Now, in precision farming, I'm saying that I'm giving the plant exactly what it needs. Why should I be giving a soil that already has enough nitrogen, extra nitrogen? Now, if you want to scale, you have to know what exactly the plant needs and how you can supply that, so you don't waste resources that are even scarce. Now, you have mobile advisory services. A very good example is if you're an agronomist. An agronomist is simply someone that that has technical knowledge on requirements on how to take care of a plant, right? So an agronomist is a person that knows the technical details of how to manage plants. Now, you offer your services as an agronomist, but do you know that you can only be on one farm per time? You can only be on one farm per time, right? But if you have mobile advisory services, all you need to do is connect with your clientele. Oh, they can send pictures of what is currently going on. They send pictures to you. You do video calls with them. Oh, I can see your bell pepper is showing signs of chlorosis. I think you would need to move up your nitrogen dosage for the week. Your plant is already outgrowing the level of nitrogen that you are giving. You are able to connect with, now with just your physical presence, you can be on one farm per time. But with mobile advisory services, you can consult for 10, 20, 30 farms at the same time. Okay, that's just an example of technology, mobile advisory services. Then supply chain management. You are into agric logistics, right? And one of the things about agribusiness, logistics is a very big issue for us. But if you have things like how you can monitor your trucks per time, you get updates on where your truck is, what's currently happening. That can help you, give you some rest of mind and actually scale. It has gone past the point whereby, oh, for me to send a product to a particular place, or I must go with it, or your product is on the way and you're having high BP. No, if you have good quality supply chain management, managing how your products move and all, you you can be rest assured that, oh, I'm moving my products from here to this place and have peace of mind. So those are some of the things that technology as what a scaling tool. Now, examples, just a few examples. Um, MFarm. MFarm is a platform in Kenya, for example, that links farmers or provides farmers with real updated price information. Price information. It also has a platform where they can have collective buying. Okay, so MFarm is an advisory platform for farmers in Kenya, whereby they are able to get updated information on current price. Oh, tomato is actually selling for this particular amount in this place, or sesame is selling for this particular amount in so country. It gives them updated information on how best to go about their sales and all of that. So an example is what MFarm. Hello Tractor is also, if you can remember, I had earlier said that mechanization is one of the challenges of agribusiness in Africa. Hello Tractor is a service in Kenya that, oh, even if you are not able to own the tractor for yourself, you can actually uh, rent. Okay, you can actually rent and have a like a cluster where you can simply get these guys to come and run your mechanization for you. Okay, they also have systems whereby you can get a tractor on like mortgage and pay gradually for it. So these are some examples of um, technology as a scaling tool. Now, finance as a catalyst for scaling. I would just maybe I would skip go ahead of myself a bit using an example of the AIA program. Now, before it became Enterprise for Youth in Agriculture, it was previously Work and Learn. Work, Learn, and Earn, right? Work, Learn, and Earn, a program whereby if you are not experienced in agriculture, you can work, you can come to the farm. In the process of working, you are learning and you are also earning a stipend, right? Because we notice that a barrier for people entering into agriculture is that they may not just want to quit what they are doing to come and learn. So we created a program whereby you can, while you are working and you are learning the ropes of agriculture, you can also earn a stipend. Now, during the earlier versions, version 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, we just have an average of sometimes 25 participants, 50 participants, 75 participants. Okay, now that particular system of getting people to earn and learn and also working for you, it was working as a model, right? But it needed scaling, and we actually partnered with MasterCard, right? So they are saying this model is working. How can we scale up from 50 participants, 25 participants per time to 1,000 participants every 3 months? So we had the technical knowledge and they had what? The finance. So currently we are training 1,000 participants every 3 months. We could not have done that without finance. As I earlier said, no matter how brilliant your idea is, no matter how brilliant it is, if you do not have the finances to move it, you are not going anywhere. You cannot scale. So number one, we have microfinance, right? Small loans. I was working with an organization before, this microfinance, it can come in different forms, right? I was working with an organization before whereby they give farmers sesame seed, right? And they plow the land for them. Now, the microfinance is simply saying that you can provide, even if it's as inputs to these farmers. Oh, I have a contract in Asia. I have a contract to supply 1,000 tons of sesame seed. I can provide microfinance to local farmers, plow their land for them, buy off their produce, and I'm having enough supply to meet up with that demand. Okay, so if you want to scale, you will definitely need some level of finance. You also have what we call trade credits. It's part of what we do here. Trade credits. You can also say, oh, you want to produce, but you may not have the necessary facilities to expand your farm. Or you need glyphosate, you need seeds, you need pesticides. Take it. By the time you are done with production, you can pay back. So another way of scaling, you can get money from microfinance. You can also get from a straight credit. You can meet with an organization. Oh, we have this potential, but we need this and this to grow. They are saying, oh, take this either supplies or this finance, grow, then you can pay back. That is trade credit. We're also looking at equity. Equity is also a way to if you want to scale, you have to look at equity. Equity is simply saying that someone wants to have a percentage of your company. So that's where, for example, if you watch shows like Shark Tank, someone is offering 20% of their business for $1 million. They need that money to scale, but they don't have that money. So you are actually inviting somebody to own a percentage of your agribusiness for you to scale. Now, it's better that you own a small percentage of something big than own 100% of something small. It is better for you to own 10% of an agribusiness that is worth $100 million than owning 100% of an agribusiness that is just worth $10,000. So in equity, you are simply inviting people to own a percentage of your company so that you can have more finance to scale. Okay, so that's another way to generate funds using equity. Oh, my company is valued at 100 million naira. Can you you would have to pay 10 million naira or $10 million for 10% of my company. Okay, that's so you have to do your company valuation and all of that. So that is raising finance as equity as a means of finance. You can also do what is called bundled finance. Okay, bundled finance is simply saying it's more like cluster farming, right? Let's pool resources together. Oh, I can do 1 hectare on my own. Together we are 100 farmers. I hope I'm not boring us too much. I don't know, are we still together? I would want to get a few
Yes, sir, we're
responses.
here.
Okay, all right, okay. So we actually have what we call a bundled finance or cluster farming. You have ability to own maybe one fish pond, for example, but the market that before you can supply, you have to have 30 tons of fish before you can access that market, right? With bundled finance, you can pull together resources and actually execute a project. So it takes so let me just give an example. We For you to raise 1,000 pieces of catfish to table size in about 5 to 6 months, you need about 1.5 to 1.8 million naira. but you have a market that before you can access, you need to have a volume of about maybe 30 tons. You can say, oh, I have the funds to execute maybe 5 tons, but you have other persons that are interested um, in in such a venture. You can bring funds together. You can bring funds together and at one what actually execute such a project. So bundled finance. Bundled finance is a way to raise. I will just need to move along quickly because time is fast spent. So an example also is Thrive Agric. Thrive Agric is one of the agribusiness in Africa that has been able to what um, bring a solution for scaling. So they have looked at trade, like input financing. They've looked at cluster farming. Thrive Agric is an industry that is, or is a business that is pulling together. I think currently now they have about 850,000 farmers that have been onboarded on their platform. Okay. So if you actually want to scale, you may not be able to do it alone. You would actually need a lot of persons to scale. So Thrive Agric is one of those agribusinesses that has been able to pull together lots of farmers, get that volume, and actually do a lot of what trading. Let me just move on. So we're looking at the third pillar, trade as a growth engine. Trade as a growth engine. When we started, I said that there are a lot of opportunities for African products, right? African products. With the tidal wave of people moving out to other countries, we have massive opportunities for African agribusinesses to actually key into. So one of it is local and regional market integration. So the free trade zones where you can actually take your products to and share what you have. For example, if you will notice, you will see that, just an example, jollof rice is no longer just an African thing. Many persons are actually oh, jollof rice is actually nice. Do you get? So we have actually been able to what move that our product in quotes to other persons. So trade for you to actually scale. If you discover that a certain region has potential to buy some of your product, you want to start looking at your local and regional market integration. You have yams in certain places. Oh, they need this in Togo, they need this in Ghana, they need this in Benin Republic. You have to start looking at what trade. Then export diversification. So currently on the farm here, we are into processing. For example, we are currently processing hibiscus, which is zobo. We are currently working on exporting ugu. We are exporting ugu in different forms. For example, you can get your ugu as fresh. You can get it as dehydrated. We are working on freeze-dried ugu, different forms of because we know definitely they will want to cook egusi, whatever soup or meal they want to use it to do. So we are currently looking at, for example, in Soile's Farm Lab, we are looking at we are diversifying not just from tomatoes, habaneros, and the likes. We are looking at ugu, dehydrated ugu. It's as a business, if you want to scale, you have to look at what does the market need and how can I provide it. Different products in horticulture, sesame, ginger, and all of that. You have to start looking at trade for you to scale up your agribusiness. Now, meeting up quality standards, you have to trade for, if you want to trade, you have to meet quality standards. And I said that earlier. So currently, we have gotten HACCP certification. we've gotten our halal certification, we've gotten ISO 22000. Now, what does that enable us to do? If we're sending out our products, we have the right to put out our products are ISO certified, our products are halal certified, our products are what? HACCP certified. These are certification bodies that have done audits and seen that our processes, our procedures meet up with international standards. So if you would want to send your products to, if you want to scale up your agribusiness, you would have to trade. And many of these places, they would only probably accept your, not probably, they will only accept your products if they see that you meet up with certain standards of quality. You can also look at partnership with aggregators and distributors. You may not want to do everything yourself. Definitely, if you want to scale, you have to look at partnering with other persons, aggregators, distributors. Okay, so we've looked at the different pillars. We will now have to see how can we integrate technology, finance, and trade to scale your agribusiness in Africa. So technology improves efficiency. I gave an example with a simple technology such as your drip irrigation and all of that. Now, in improving efficiency, you are able to have more products. Now, if you have more, we've heard what we call like a deal room, right? For agribusinesses here on Soles Farm Lab, we have a program that is called Deal Room, and there is something that I noticed: most of the agribusinesses that get to win the grants from the Deal Room that we conduct are businesses that actually have a bit of that actually have traction, right? So, and definitely you will need once you are able to integrate technology, you improve efficiency and you have traction. Oh, I did habanero production on 1 acre. I was able to get this with improved seeds, improved technology. You're able to grow your products well. You can actually now pitch your business to somebody that's interested in what? In financing it. Nobody will want to invest in something that does not have any traction. Okay, so technology improves your efficiency, efficiency improves your yield improves your profits and your revenues. This can attract financiers or people that want to partner with you as regards finance. Now, if you are able to get finance, you can finance funds the more adoption of what? Technology and quality improvement. Now, we're moving from technology, and you'll be able to, with more technology, you have been able to attract more finance. That also what boosts your production and your quality. Then you can now think of accessing using trade. So trade expands your market size. Okay, you are currently dealing with probably my 12 markets. By the time you are able to get your technology and your finance right, you can expand to other markets. You can expand to other markets. So it moves from technology improving your efficiency, you are attracting financials, trade expanding your market size. So you can even take it back to what? Reinvestment in technology. I want to use where I'm currently serving as a business coach for as an example. Okay. Now, we as Solace Farm Lab, we are an agribusiness firm that is looking at how to, we're about technology, business, and opportunity. Okay, technology, business, and opportunity. So we use greenhouse technology, climate smart agriculture, AI driven drip irrigation systems, to what? To grow, right? Now that's how we started, and we now have partnerships whereby, oh, we love what you are doing. How can we partner with you to scale up? Okay, so we started out with technology. of which I've mentioned earlier, soilless farming, soilless farming for horticulture, the greenhouse technology, and the precision farming. All of that is our technology aspect. Now, we've through that and making ourselves visible online, we've been able to attract partners that have been able to what? We've been able to scale up. So currently we have on the farm over 800 greenhouses that are functioning and growing. That can only be possible because we've started out with technology, we've seen the business model, and we've been able to attract what? Financiers for us to what? Scale. Okay. And now we are looking at what? Trading. Oh, our dehydrated ugu, dehydrated habaneros, dehydrated hibiscus. Okay, we've now looked at, we've seen how technology has what given us a business model, finance has helped us to what scale, and now we are moving on to the next aspect, trade. So these products that we currently have here, how can we move it into what? Into other places that need our products. So Soilless Farm Lab has been able to what? Combine technology, finance, and trade to scale up. As of 2020, we're operating at about 15 greenhouses thereabouts. But currently, we've set up over 800 plus greenhouses. Okay, of which is functioning, and we are using that to what? Reach more markets. So I will just move over to scaling strategy framework. So assess your readiness. Assess your readiness. Don't where are you on tech, finance, and trade? As I said earlier, scaling for an agribusiness is different for each person. Okay, so you have to actually know, because it's not when you are you've put yourself so much online and persons are actually making inquiries. Oh, we need 100 tons of sesame, we need 100 tons of hibiscus, right? And you are not able to deliver. So you need to assess your readiness. You need to assess your readiness. Where are you? What level of technology am I currently on? Do I have the requisite finance? Do I have trade opportunities for me to actually scale up? So you need to assess your where you are currently. And secondly, you need to build partnerships. You need to build partnerships. You may not want to do everything by yourself. So if there's an aspect of your agribusiness that you can, so let me quickly pitch in something here. In scaling for agribusiness, not every point of the value chain in your agribusiness that you must scale. For example, I will use an example of maybe a fish farmer. What are the value chains in fish farming? You can go into breeding of fingerlings, juveniles, you want to sell to people. That is a value chain. You can do an outgrowers program. For example, just taking the fingerlings from the fingerlings or juvenile stage up to what we call table size fish, right? That's 1 kg and above, table size fish. You can also be someone that just sells fresh. You can also be someone that sells smoked. You are also someone that sells as powdered catfish. So these are all value chains in that particular agribusiness. In scaling up, you must know which particular area do I want to scale, because the profit margins for each area is different. I remember we are in agribusiness, so you have to know. That's why you have to know your numbers. Which of these zones, which of these point along the value chain do I want to scale in? I may want to scale my fingerlings production, right? I may want to scale. Maybe my current capacity is 100,000 fingerlings per month. Oh, and I'm noticing that many persons are there's a huge market for more fingerlings. I can decide to scale that if I find out that that's where my major profit is coming from. I can decide to say, oh, there are many persons that are demanding for catfish, smoked catfish in other places, right? I can say, oh, I would leave the other points of value chain as they are. I can decide to go into, for example, smoking, whereby I still grow to table size, I smoke, and also even aggregate and scale that part of my business up. So in scaling your agribusiness, not every point along the value chain must be scaled. You have to look at the specific points that will provide the most benefit for your agri business. Now, to scale, you can also leverage clusters or cooperative for economies of scale. Economies of scale is simply say, I know many of us have done this before. Economies of scale, I'll just use this example to explain it. Have you noticed that whenever you go to the market, you will say, "Ah, madam, how much is this thing?" She tells you, "Oh, this granite is for one is 200 naira." Now say, madam, okay, give me three for 500. Do you get? Oh, I'm buying much. Economies of scale is simply saying that how much are you saving by going big? By going big, how much are you saving? For example, if you want to buy a carton of pesticide, you are probably spending the amount you used to buy, for example, one bottle would definitely be more expensive per bottle if you are buying a carton. Now, if you're buying for let's say a whole production year, and you are having a cluster of maybe 200 farmers or 200 companies coming together, you can even import it by yourself. Okay, so you can leverage your clusters and cooperatives for economies of scale. The bigger you go, they are certain you are better able to negotiate for better pricing. You are better able to negotiate even for your prices. Why? Because you are a big player in that particular sector in the agribusiness. So you can leverage clusters or cooperatives. Now you can also embed data collection for transparency and funding eligibility. Many a times when people say, "Oh, I'm getting this right," or "I'm getting this particular um I'm getting I have this model that is working," people are saying, how do we know that it's current it's actually working? So you need to have what data collection for transparency. That's why people will say, don't if you are accessing opportunities, try to, number one, register your business, try to have a bank account. Because if you are telling me that I should come and if maybe have an equity in your business, and you're telling me your company is worth 100 million naira, I would have to say that you are doing what transaction worth of that, around that value. Okay, so you must have what you must be big on data collection for transparency and for funding eligibility. You are asking for a funding of 100 million naira, and you have never we don't have evidence of that you've done businesses worth up to 10 million naira. No. Even when people want to, in quotes, jackpot, they will ask for what? Proof of funds, Abi. Is also the same thing for agribusinesses. You want people to fund your business. Oh, this thing is actually working. You have to show what? The data that this my business is actually ready enough for scaling. Okay. And the last one is you have to adopt progressive export readiness plan. I will still use Soilless Farm Lab as an example, right? In trying to access trade opportunities in other countries, we started the whole production of getting certified. And even currently, we are working on getting the global gap certification. Okay, so we've gotten the halal certification, which allows us to move our products into countries that require that for before products can come into their country. Most likely the east markets, the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, all of that, they require a halal certification before your products can move to them. So you have to adopt progressive export readiness plan. Your certifications is a very big um, aspect of that plan. You cannot be saying that you want to scale up, you want to move your products to other countries without getting certified. So we have halal, you have ISO, we have your HACCP, you have your global gap. All of those certifications are necessary to show that your production processes are transparent enough for them to actually take your products. So you have to adopt export readiness. You have to be export ready. So quick wins for farmers and SMEs, right? Number one, you can digitize your record keeping. Start small. You've made so amount of progress. Document it. Keep those records, because if anybody wants to scale, they want to see that you are making. What have you done before? What have you done before? There's a saying in documentation and certification processes: if it was not recorded, it never happened. So you must learn to what? Take your record keeping so serious. Okay. So you can digitize your record keeping. For example, we have a platform called Kobo Collect. All our agronomy data, our pesticide usage, all of that is what is recorded. Okay, it is recorded. You can also join trade associations and online marketplace. There are some certain markets, for example, that you may not have direct access to, but you can join trade associations for you to move your products together. And for example, that was last year when we're still trying to move fresh ugu to the UK. We couldn't move it just by ourselves, right? We had to join we had to partner with an association that brings together different farmers that supply fresh ugu. So in order for us to scale, at that point we just had to join such an association for us to move our products. And I know very soon we'll start moving like all by ourselves. Okay. So you can also engage as an upcoming agribusiness. You can also engage in group financing schemes. If you want, it's better to own, as I said earlier, it's better to own 10% of $100 million business than 100% of what? A $10,000 business. Okay, so you can engage in group financing schemes to scale up. Then you can also go for pilot quality upgrades for niche market entry. But certain persons are, for example, now we also offer freeze-dried food products. So you can cook your egusi soup, for example, freeze-dry it, and it can last up to 25 years even. So that's something new. So pilot quality upgrades for niche market entries. And for example, if you freeze dry 100 kg of food, at the end of the day, it may weigh up to like 5 kg. So it's something that is relatively new, and we can actually leverage on that for upgrades for a niche market. We can tell you that we are the only ones offering, or we are just part of a few persons offering freeze-dried, ready-to-eat egusi. All you need to do is to what? Rehydrate and sell. Okay, so you can prioritize quality upgrades for what? Niche market entry. Agriculture is not just a way of life. Agriculture is a business. So if you are looking at scaling, you have to look at each of the sectors that we have actually discussed in the course of this session. Okay, so agriculture is not just a way of life, it is a business, and every serious business should be looking at scaling. Okay, Every serious business should be looking at scaling. Now, in conclusion, number one, we must adopt. We must begin adopting the right technology needed to match global standards. Okay, transparency, traceability, because people that there is a lot of, I know for some time now there's been a lot of buzz online on things like GMO. Are your products GMO? Are your products are, are they organic? Are they this? Are they that? Many persons in more developed countries or other in other countries, they would want to see that you are meeting up, you have a certain level of transparency that will meet global standards. Okay, so for agribusinesses in Africa, we must begin adopting the right technology needed to match global standards. Now, after that, we can start thinking of what? Expanding. So, beside consumption, we must also now begin to intensify efforts on trade within Africa and other continents. Trust me, what we have in Africa, we just need to find a way to introduce it to other countries. How has it happened that pizza, you can easily get pizza to eat? Pizza is not our food, it's an Italian dish, but they've been able to move it out there such that you can get it virtually all over the world, burgers and all of that. So we have to find ways to package our products and push it to other countries. Do you get? So in scaling up, you have to find ways to what? Expand, intensify our efforts on trade, both within Africa and other continents. And the third way, to secure, as a people, we must focus on securing strategic finance needed for scaling. If you are, just permit to say, the Bible says the wisdom of the poor man was not heard at the city gates, simply because he did not have, his opinion was not what? It was not heard. You may have a wonderful working agribusiness plan, agribusiness venture, okay? But if you do not have the requisite financing, you may not be able to scale. So, in as much as we are focusing on technical aspects of the business and all of that, we must find strategic ways to what? Secure finance in order to scale. And for the tech industry, like maybe the payment platforms and all of that, for example, the company hosting this webinar, Tradu, they are looking at what? One of the challenges is that to make international payments, many agribusinesses are having what those challenges. So they have come up with innovative solutions that can help out with this. So Tradu helps agribusinesses grow by making faster is coming. Just 1 second. So for example, Tradu helps agribusinesses grow faster by making payments across borders seamless. Farmers and agribusiness owners often face delays and high costs when paying for suppliers. Okay, I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. We ordered for a batch of fertilizers from China last year, and they are just arriving they are just arriving this year. Do you get? And part of the delays was payments, finding ways to convert to their currency, make payments. We ordered it last year. Fertilizer, greenhouse equipment, irrigation, seeds, and all of that. Many a times we get these things from that we do not produce locally, and payment has been actually a big issue. So Tradu simplifies that by enabling agribusinesses to pay to suppliers. Okay, and they do that by paying, offering on their platform. You can pay directly and securely, whether you're sourcing seeds from Netherlands and fertilizers from China or wherever. So with Tradu, they are also helping agribusinesses scale by providing access to international markets. Okay, not just bringing inputs in Nigeria, but also helping to what sell and receive payments from buyers outside the country. So they've actually been able to come up with a platform that helps you to do what, to pay suppliers, to receive payments, and also save time and reduce costs. Okay. And it's eliminating bottlenecks of traditional banking processes while ensuring payments are fast, reliable, and trackable. So it's actually a plus for agribusinesses looking to scale, because one of the problems of scaling in agric is the fact that you are not able to make payments and all of that. So it's actually a big plus for agribusinesses in Africa for payments. It's actually a solutions platform. Um, as I would usually say, with these few points of mine, I hope I've been able to pass across um, some form of value whereby we are able to scale our agribusinesses in Africa. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Guys, can we, if we enjoyed what we just heard, can we put the emoji that says well done, thumbs up, or just clap our hand for him? I think he did an amazing job. Thank you so much, Mr. Nathaniel. Good evening, everyone. My name is Francis, and I'm with the Trade team. On behalf of everyone at Trade, the whole team, we just wanted to say thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule. The weekend, it's a time to relax with family, but you decided to, share some of the time with us, and we are so grateful and thankful for that. Like Nathaniel said, the idea behind Trade is simple. We looked at it like this. There are several brands and startups that take care of the individual that wants to make, pay for their school fees, send money home from what's it called, from the abroad back to Nigeria. But no one was really looking after the average businessman, the small business owner that buys, some goods from, China, Turkey, the UK, America, wherever, because most times when they need to make payment, they either go through the bank or a middleman, and then the bank most times will tell you, oh, bring a form M, bring this one, bring that one. By the time you're done bringing all the documents that are needed, chances are that the rate at that point might have increased. So it's always been a hustle and a hassle basically for young business people, SMEs, businesses basically, to be able to sort that issue of cross-border payment. And so we decided, what, let's build something for business people by business-minded people, strictly for business people, and that is where the idea for Trade came up. And so right now we are on our launch product, which is called Trade Pay, which literally helps you pay your supplier regardless of the line you're in. Are you into, do you sell cosmetics? Is it jewelry? Is it fashion? Whatever industry you're in, basically we can help you. How does it work? It's simple. The my colleague already, who is on the call, he's going to put the website for those that haven't really checked us out to see what the platform is like. You just sign up, do your KYB, load your account, and you see what the rate is. It's simple, very transparent. Load your account and then pay the your supplier, and they get their payments within 2 days, 2 working days, like maximum. It never gets beyond that, 2 working days, and we're good. So the idea is simple, very easy to use, and just like we have done this, the idea behind this webinar is simple. We looked at it, instead of just, normally we're in the business of telling you come use our platform to make your payments, but at the end of the day, we also need to look at giving back in terms of value. And that's why we brought someone like Nathaniel, because we know we have clients that are into agriculture, and some of them buy some of their things from abroad, China and everywhere. And we felt, instead of just always being the one asking you to give us, why don't we give something back? Bring a professional that comes to teach us all and impact something. So that's the idea. This is us finding a way to give back and make sure everybody, we can give back in a way and we can just all scale and do better as businesses and just do better as people as well. So thank you very much. On behalf of the Trade U team, we say thank you so much. We're going to send out emails after this, maybe later today or tomorrow, to say thank you and to just let you know we're here. For those that would like to sign up and try out how Trade U works, we're here. Send an email. We can also provide numbers for you if you want to send WhatsApp messages to be able to support you through the process of registering. If you have any questions, whatever it is, we'll be here and happy to do that. And because time is fast spent, we wouldn't want to keep you much longer. Regarding everything that Mr. Nathaniel has shared, if you have questions as well, you can also send them to us via email, and we will make sure Mr. Nathaniel gives an answer, which we will forward to you. Again, we say thank you so much, Mr. Nathaniel. Thank you so much. You are amazing. I feel like I should get into the agricultural business now because you just fish farming, and I like fish, So I feel like I should just start the whole agricultural business. Thank you so much. To the team, well
Thank you
done,
for
guys.
having me.
Thank you. Kumali, you're the only person that has showed us your face. Do you mind unmuting your mic? I would like to know where you're based. I think I should give you a Trade U merchandise. What size of shirt do you? I'd like to send you something because you're the only person that showed your face today. And I'm pretty sure every other person here, they have beautiful faces, but for some reason they decide to just hold it and not let us see their fine faces. I'm not vexing, I'm not beefing, it's fine. But yes, Kumali, do you mind unmuting where you based? You're muted, so we can't hear you. If you're shy, you could just type it in the chat box. You're muted, so we can't really hear you.
Okay, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
I am currently a partner at the program Mr. Nathaniel mentioned, the Enterprise for Youth in Agriculture. So I'm currently in Abeokuta. Yes.
Okay. You're not too far away. So we're going to get your details in terms of your full name and your shirt size from Mr. Nathaniel, and I will personally find a way of sending it over to you. Thank you so much for blessing us with your fine face this evening. Again, guys, thank you so much. All right, Mr. Nathaniel.
Yeah, you can also send my own. I use 4XL.
I knew you were going to feel left out. Don't worry, we'll do something for you. That's all right. Thank you so much, guys. Do have a lovely evening. Thank you again. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.